What is up, you guys, and welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel here, my name is Brandon. As always, we do have our investing academy as that first link down in the description below. I cannot believe how much you guys enjoyed that last video where I talked about how we shouldn't be using our debit cards when we're purchasing things. We should be running everything pretty much through our credit cards, garnering points, getting travel benefits, cashback and whatnot. And I just want to say thank you for everybody that contributed to that video, because there was so much feedback and so much insights that I learned, kind of like some justification as to why some people may use their debit cards. They may not feel comfortable for security reasons. It definitely opened up a new kind of way of thinking for me, rather than it just being black and white. That said, I still believe that when it comes to our money, when it comes to our spending, having a good credit card and being able to garner points when we're gonna go out and purchase things inevitably, that makes a ton of sense. And one of the questions I got was, well, Brandon, what card do you suggest for someone who's just getting, their first credit card, or what card do you use? And that's actually what we're gonna be talking about in today's video. I'll share with you guys the exact card that I use. I have it right here, and why I do. I will just start this video by saying, big disclaimer, I do not claim to be, or I'm nowhere close to some sort of expert or guru when it comes to credit cards. I'm probably very much just like you. Very good likelihood that you may know more than me. I'm just kind of sharing with you guys why I use the card that I do. I actually met a guy named Ricky a couple weeks ago. He runs a channel called The Prince of Travel, and he has a blog and some fantastic content over there. If you are serious about learning about this stuff, if you have an interest and passion for finding out the best deals and whatnot, let me direct you over there, because that blog and channel has all the information you would need. In fact, a lot of what I'll talk about today was stuff that Ricky told me with my card, saying, hey, you should be swapping this out. We'll get into that today. But hey, if you guys enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. I guess we can start with this. What card do I personally use? Well, I've blurred out the numbers, obviously. Well, I've actually put a little sticky note on it. But the card that I use is the TD First Class Travel Card. Obviously a card that will get me travel points when I spend. I can go use them for hotels, for flights, for purchases. I have found that of all the different banks that I've banked with over the years, and this is just personal preference, again, there's no one right or wrong, but I've banked with RBC in the past, hated it. I've banked with CIBC in the past, wasn't the best. TD has always been the bank for me, and this is not a sponsored post, by the way. Another comment that I got, someone on that last video said, well, I hope this isn't a sponsored post by the credit card companies trying to, pitch credit cards down our throat. And first and foremost, if this was a sponsored post, I would, I have nothing against a sponsored post. If a company wants to say, hey, talk about our stuff, I'm all for that. But I will clearly display that to you. I'll say this video is sponsored by them. Thank you for them for sponsoring the video. You'll see this in the description. I literally made that video for you guys to help, hopefully, increase financial literacy out there and help you guys with your spending habits. And for people to just be like, well, it's not a sponsored post, it just, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. But just to be clear, this is not a sponsored post by TD, anything like that. I'm just sharing with you guys what card I use. And in fact, the card I use is actually not the best card out there. So that's kind of crazy to think about. Prior to coming in here, I thought this was quite fun. I actually looked at my different cards and just took a look at how many points I had. I had no clue what it was. Was it high? Was it low? Basically, combining my two cards, I have about 449,000 points on one of the cards, and then 570,000 points on another card, my business card. So basically, in accumulation, 1,000,000 points. So that's pretty cool. 1,000,000 points. Again, I had really no clue how many I had. I just knew that I was kind of growing them. I just did a fun little experiment, and I went over to basically the TD Expedia rewards, which is basically where you would go utilize these points. Again, this is just one of my cards showing 449,000. I ran a little sample thing, what could that get me? Well, this is just a round trip flight from my city, Vancouver, to Toronto. It says here, this round trip flight would cost about 55,000 points. So 55,000 points, I could dip into my little bank here. And clearly with 1,000,000 points, there's a lot to do. There's a lot that I have accrued over the past couple of years, just by spending money and just by running it through my card, other than my debit card. That is a lot of free travel if you ask me. But let's get on to this card itself. I'm actually gonna be comparing two cards in this video, okay? This also doesn't include, by the way, cashback cards. I'm just looking at the two main TD travel cards. We have the TD First Class Travel, which is what I have. The comparable to that, or your other option, would be the TD Aeroplan Card. Now I'll tell you, this stuff is so confusing to me. They sound so similar, but they do have these nuances. They do have these differences. And depending on what you want out of your card, one may make a lot more sense than you. But I guess we'll start here with the TD First Travel Card, which is the card that I have. Basically what we need to know is that this card has an annual fee of $120. However, as with both of the cards that we talk about today, they do have a sign-up bonus or a welcome bonus where they'll essentially waive the first year. So both cards, the TD Travel Card and the Aeroplan Card, basically you're getting the first year free, and then beyond that you pay $120. With this TD Travel Card, you are getting less points relative to the dollars you spend, but it is a lot more flexible. And how this works is the type of rewards points that you get are what are called TD points or TD rewards points. They have to be used through the TD for Expedia website that they've built. And again, that was what I was kind of showing you guys earlier, but you can essentially like use that as if it were Expedia, and it essentially links up and you can use your points in that regard. I'll pop up right now the exact points that you'd be earning. So for every dollar spent, you earn 3 TD points on all purchases made, 9 TD points on all travel stuff. To me, these point system can be quite confusing because they're not apples to apples. It's very hard to see the dollar value, but essentially this page might just do it a little bit better. It looks like they have a limited time offer going right now. Apply by May 29th, 2022 to earn up to 100,000 TD points, a travel value of up to $500 when you book travel purchases through Expedia for TD, which is what I was explaining, and get a full annual rebate, as I explained, for the first year with a total value up to $670. So essentially you're getting a welcome bonus of $20,000 when you make your first purchase with the card. And if you're able to spend $1,500 within the first 90 days of the account opening, you get an additional $80,000. If you were planning on spending that much money anyways, and you were going to use this card, well, you would be garnering all those points. You don't want to go out of your way to just spend a bunch of money that you weren't going to spend just to get points. But if you are going to be spending that money anyways, looks like they have a welcome bonus of $100,000 of 100,000 TD points. Why I like this card. So this goes against exactly what Ricky told me the other day at lunch. When he saw me using this card, he basically scoffed at me and laughed at me and said I should be scrapping this card immediately and going to the Aeroplan Card, because this card does not give you the best bang for buck in terms of points, as we'll look at in a moment. For every dollar spent, you can earn actually a lot more Aeroplan points with the Aeroplan Card. But what I like about this card is that it gives you flexibility and it gives you options. So not to kind of jump the gun, but with the TD Aeroplan Card, basically you're garnering points to use for Air Canada. So you have to be flying Air Canada. Again, you get more points kind of like per dollar. However, they can only be used towards Air Canada flights. That's their plan. The Aeroplan, to my understanding, is that the Aeroplan is Air Canada, and basically you'd be flying solely on Air Canada, but you would have a higher number of points. With this TD First Class Travel Card, you can use this for not just flights, but hotels, for car rentals, I even saw, like, if you're gonna go purchase tickets, like Disneyland, for example, you're gonna go to Florida or LA or whatever it is, you can use all of these reward points to purchase stuff that are all surrounding your travel. And to me, that is why I actually like this, despite it not being the highest bang for buck for points. I mean, again, I haven't traveled all that much, like especially with COVID, and I'd love to, like, soon. I might as well start using up all these points when, you know, there's time to travel. Right now with the baby, there's just not really time to travel, like, at all, and it's not really in the foreseeable future. Well, it will be soon, but just not like right now. But for me, I wouldn't want to be limited down to just saying I can only fly on Air Canada flights, right? Like, let's say I want to go to Hawaii, or let's say I want to go somewhere and I see all the different options of flights. To me, I want that flexibility to say, well, I want to fly WestJet, or I want to fly Air Transat, or whatever it is, and pick more or less the times that I want, kind of bundle everything up with the hotel bookings. To me, that flexibility outweighs the actual getting more bang for your buck, if that makes sense with the Aeroplan Card. But that's why I use it. And again, as you can tell, guys, you know, I'm just sharing with you guys, like, literally just a person out there sharing with you guys why I use this card. Just go watch Ricky's channel if you guys really want to get some in-depth, you know, insights on this. I'll actually put up a page that is from his thing, The Prince of Travel, right here, which basically does a good summary of it. So basically showing you the first year value that you'd be getting, the amount of cards, again, the rate that you'd be looking at. But yeah, this is the card that I'm currently using. Let's take a moment and compare that up to the second card, which again, I was actually instructed to switch over to. and basically chose not to. Another reason why I chose not to, just FYI, was I actually called the lady at TD and I'm like, I'm considering this. If I did switch over to the Aeroplan card right away, I would have to use up my points. Like the Aeroplan points and the TD points are two different systems, right? They don't mix, they don't transfer over. They're two completely separate beasts. And what she said was that if I were to switch over, I have to essentially use up all those travel points within 90 days. And again, with no real plans of traveling, what I could do is use those points and book something far in advance. Like that is an option if I did want to make the change. But nevertheless, I'm just like, I'm happy with this card. I'm doing it. I think it's a very fair fee at the end of the day. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm running with. But to move over to the TD Aeroplan card, this card runs for $139 per year. Basically the similar rate, nothing really that difference, I would say. Again, you'd have your first year waived. With this card, you are obviously earning Aeroplan points rather than TD points. And the Aeroplan system, again, is a completely different system itself. It says here, you earn 2.1 cents per point Canadian dollars or 1.7 cents per point US dollars. And just FYI, the TD rewards points, I know this is getting all jumbled up, but those were sitting at about half a cent per point. So yeah, but Aeroplan is one of the most versatile programs for long haul international travelers. Is advantageous. Domestic redemptions can be harder to extract value from, but okay, never mind. That's just a little thing on Aeroplan. One additional benefit to this card as to why it may be the better card overall is that these cards do have these embedded kind of like perks inside, right? Whether it's the travel insurance or whether it's this. One of the things with TD Aeroplan is that you do get your free first checked bag up to 8 travelers. And as you know, when you go to the airport nowadays, a lot of these companies will charge you for your bag, whether it's 30 bucks or 35 bucks, whatever it is. Basically, if you do the math on that, getting your free first checked bag simply for having this Aeroplan card is definitely a positive, right? If you're traveling with a family of 4, or a family of 5, or a family of 6, right? It says up here up to 8. Well, you do the math, 3 times 6 people, both ways, that alone gets you some good savings. And again, as mentioned, you are getting actually significantly more points and dollars bang for your buck, but it is limited to Air Canada. Here it states basically that their limited time offer is earning up to $1,400 in value, including 50,000 Aeroplan points, no annual fee for the first year, and additional travel benefits. You must apply by September 5th, 2022. So you guys got a ton of time to do that if you want to. Basically earn a welcome bonus of 10,000 Aeroplan points when you make your first purchase with a new card, or 20,000 Aeroplans when you spend $1,500 in the next 90 days. So very similar. Plus, earn an additional 20,000 Aero points when you spend $7,500 throughout the year that you open the account. Enroll for Nexus, and once every 48 months, get an application fee rebate if you are a Nexus person. As well, it says here, and share free first check bags, plus get an annual rebate for your first year. To receive the annual rebate, you must activate your card and make your first purchase on the account within 3 months of the thing. Okay, so yeah, I'll basically flip over to this page here on the Prince of Travel blog. Same idea, basically showing you the first year value, the amount of points. Obviously, the amount of points are going to be less because, again, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but the actual value you're getting is more. In fact, literally, as I'm looking at this page, I'm seeing here this was last updated March 7th, 2021. So these numbers look to be a little bit off, but conceptually, I guess you're getting the same, you're getting the point. You are getting a bigger bang for your buck with the Aeroplan card plus some additional perks. But yeah, this is basically outdated about a year now. So I think what I just showed you there, talking about the actual value, basically the ability to get either $1,400 worth of value with your Aeroplan card if you are going to be spending up to $7,500 versus the option with TD, the first class travel card, getting a value up to $670. Basically, guys, as you can tell, this is kind of like, these points can kind of throw me for a loop, right? And Ricky is the guy to go look for when it comes to that stuff. I'm literally just trying to share with you guys, like, as a person, right? As an average person like you guys, what I use. There are probably better options out there, but for the flexibility reasons, I prefer the first class travel card over the Aeroplan card. Now, with more information, if I learn more over the coming weeks and months, I can update you guys, because that may change, like if I really dial into and learn this stuff. But from what I understand, I don't mind garnering less points, but having more flexibility to do with that rather than just getting the points. Now, if you're somebody that really likes Aeroplan and really likes flying with Air Canada, because they do fly like literally everywhere to my knowledge, all over the globe, that may be a very, very suitable plan. In both cases, like, I wouldn't say that you're doing anything wrong by using this card or the Aeroplan card. They both are very, very affordable at the end of the day. Again, you're getting your first thing waived first year, and you're like building points. I keep saying the word garnering. I don't know why, I just feel like that's like a word to say when it comes to points, but you are building points, you are garnering points regardless of which card you're on. You guys should be using something. Like, it just feels good when you go on a trip and you're able to use your points and just essentially go for, like, it feels like free. That's something that does kind of resonate with me, which is why I'm very, very happy with this card. Technically, I have this card along with the same version of that card for my business account, or for my business card. I believe there are even a higher up, like a next level card, which are more in the $500 ranges. Maybe something I should be considering, but again, I'm just sharing with you guys what I do. It's just this card right here. Very happy with it. As you saw, like, earlier in the video, I probably got a lot of points to use up, and I'm so excited to do that. But hopefully this video was able to point you guys in the right direction, at least share some insights into what I personally do with my cards. Again, we're just looking at TD here, but there are so many suites of options out there. There's BMO, there's RBC, and I'm sure they have very, very competitive cards. What I'd actually be very curious is for those enthusiasts or anybody just with knowledge of why they have the card that they do and what all the perks are, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below as to what your suggestions would be. Maybe for me, right? Maybe for me, there's a better card out there and you guys are like, hey, you should be checking this one or using this or whatever you use. Leave that down in the comment section below, because we got so much feedback on that last video. It really was exciting. I really like that fact, because it is a change up talking about this stuff. As a disclaimer, everything that we talked about in this video, go double check yourself, go to the websites, like, go look up the stuff on TD or Amex or whatever it is, because I'm essentially just kind of sharing with you guys one person's opinion on it. But I am very curious to hear what you guys have to say, and hopefully you guys appreciated me sharing with you guys what I do. If you did, a great way of showing your support is by just giving a thumbs up, making sure that you're subscribed and hitting the bell for notifications. That's it for today's video, guys. As always, we do have our Investing Academy down below. Like, if you want courses and training, not on credit cards. So we don't have a credit card specialist, yet in our network. However, if you want training on stock market, personal finance, retirement planning, we even have a real estate guide joining up for May 15th. So training courses, video training courses, like on how to save for your down payment, how to get a good mortgage rate, like those types of things. That's coming May 15th to complement the 100+ hours of our video training courses to learn about the stock market. You get a community to chat with, like, literally on a daily basis. We're meeting so many cool people that have joined since this launch. And yeah, you get your questions answered. You get to see what trades people are doing and what portfolios, like model portfolios, live sessions. There's so many things. We even partnered up with Stock Trades. They're giving us a newsletter weekly. So basically part of their premium package, they're basically letting us use their newsletter, or not use it, but like view it, a research report on a monthly basis. It's so cool. And it's only $19.99 a month, like $20 a month. I guarantee you that you will learn something that will make you more than $20 a month, whether it's avoiding a mistake or a good stock or just getting that clarity or a tax tip. Like, there is something out there that will give you more than the cost of the training. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's not, which is why I just strongly encourage you guys to do so. And if you go in there and you're like, well, I'm not learning, then just cancel. Or even within 7 days, ask for a refund. Like, we don't want your money if you aren't enjoying the training. But we are getting, like, we've already been getting amazing feedback for years and years and years. And now this program is a fraction of what it used to cost. Like, you guys should really try it. You guys should really, really try it out, is what I would say to you guys. But that's our first link down below. Again, this video was kind of fun, but hey, hope you guys appreciated it. As always, I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.